Well, let's assume that you've already met the love of your life and you build your successful business, but then things get sometimes a bit tricky because it's an unusual situation that women are more successful as their husbands. What kind of advice can you give there?
Firstly, yes, I get it. I hear a lot of my clients saying that, I make more money than my husband. He has a 9 to 5 job. He doesn't understand what it means to be an entrepreneur, and that I have to, at least be on my computer sometimes at random times, and like my client zone is different, and I have to work in the evenings. So I think the first thing there is to, number one, have compassion for your partner, because if you're married to an entrepreneur, I think it's a different conversation. But if you're married to a non-entrepreneur, I think it's just really challenging for them to understand your world. Yeah. And so instead of assuming that he doesn't love you or he doesn't support your success and your ambition, which I think our fears quickly go into that direction and say, oh, he's just intimidated by my success, he doesn't want to support me. um, I would really warn you to not go into that direction straight away. Instead, have compassion for your partner, because an entrepreneur's journey and an entrepreneur's lifestyle is something that a 9 to 5 person just simply cannot understand. They have to be explained, they have to be educated into it, they have to be sensitized towards it. So I remember myself, Chris, on our vacation, Chris, especially in 2016, when the business really started to take off, we would go on vacation and Chris would say, why do you have to go on Facebook? It's our vacation, like put the phone aside. And it was so hard for me to, like, I thought, like, he doesn't support my success, and he's so unsupportive. And then I realized, he comes from a background where, he comes from a pastor background where his father was 24/7 available for everyone. And it was a very big trigger for him. He wants his family life to be very separate from his work life, and he wants that when we go on vacation, everything is switched off and nothing, no devices, nothing is touched. And I didn't know that he was coming from that perspective. I did not know that he was coming from that trigger place. I just thought, you don't understand that, if I just answer one message, somebody's going to buy a package of 4,000 euros straight away. They're just waiting for a link. I just have to give them the link. So I think it's so easy to assume that they're not supportive, but have compassion and understand that this is a sensitizing process, which is where you have to sit with each other and you really have to talk. You have to communicate. You have to say, honey, I understand this is where you're coming from, but this is where I am coming from. And remember, when I'm doing this, I'm not just doing this for myself, I'm doing this for our family, right? Like, if I win more, it's not just I win more, it's our family that wins more, right? So I'm also doing it for us. I'm not just doing it for myself. So I think number one is have compassion for each other, because it is a in German we say kennen learning process. Now, so it's a getting to know process, that this is a very different playing field and working style versus your partners. I think the second one is understanding that success is not just about the money we make and the brand we have in the world. Because a lot of the high achieving entrepreneurs and a lot of my high achieving clients tend to think that if they are making more money, their men are contributing less to the family. Their men are contributing less, so they are superior and the man is inferior. This is such a poison for a relationship, such a big poison. I call it the slow poison, the relationship killer, right? Because we think that money is the only way to contribute. But the truth is, there are so many different ways in which people contribute to a relationship, right? Your man can contribute by looking after the children while you're working, right? Your man can still contribute to, how he takes care. So, when Chris and I built our home, we said it's our dream home, and now we realize we want another dream home, but that's not story. For that time where we built our dream home, and he took over. I maybe pitched in a little bit more money to the process, but he took over all the burdens of, managing, delegating, managing the workers. That's so much masculine energy. So at the end of it, and he was so stressed in the entire process. I could see it was such a big project for us, like it's a really big house that we built for our capacity back then. And he was so stressed and so bogged down, and he did everything: project management, financing management, credit management, everything. And so he was contributing so much with his time, his ability, his skills, right? And so at the end of it, we did not know who contributed more, because maybe I contributed a little more financially to the project because I run an online business, but he contributed so much with his time, his energy, his management skills, his project skills, right? And he has a great job with the with the German Space Agency still. So he did it while having his amazing job. So I don't see myself as superior and more successful than my husband. I see my husband as an equally successful man. He's very successful by German standards, by not having an online business, and he gets a great salary. And I am also not the breadwinner. I don't call myself the breadwinner, even though I make far loads of money, more money than my husband does. I don't call myself the breadwinner because Chris is always pitching in. So, for example, I will pay the business class flight because I like my comfort now. Yeah, I'll pay the business class flight. Chris will pay, all the groceries of the household, all the rental bills, all the insurances. So he is still very much involved. He is still very much contributing to our household and our economy. So I think this whole idea that someone is more successful than the other person, unless and until you have that kind of a partner who doesn't do anything, right? Like then he's just sitting on the couch and playing video games and doing PlayStation, then we need to talk, because that's not healthy, right? But what we're talking about, what most women have, is a healthy partner, a loving partner who may or may not make as much money as they make. I mean, that is the gift and the curse of the high achieving woman, right? um, but it's important there that we start to go deeper, and we stop defining ourselves as more successful than our men just because we make more money. I think there is so much more to success than just the money you make, right? And there is so many more ways that people can contribute in a loving family versus just through money. And I think recognition of those contributions, recognition of the love, the support, the time your partner gives you, so that you could also go out and shine and do your thing. All of this has to play into the dynamic of both people calling themselves successful and contributing to the relationship.